Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and let's start by talking about XRP. You know, it dawned on me the other day, I have not really talked, before I talk about XRP, it dawned on me, and every time I go to a conference, everybody's asking me about my kids, the baseball, the this, the that. Well, so I was going to give an update on what we've been doing. My son, who is going to be playing, he's going to be lefty pitching JUCO baseball. He has been training this summer to increase his speed, and I actually went to Florida with him, and then I took the family fishing down in Florida. We went bass fishing last week. And it was a slow fishing day, but we did catch 2 or 3. My youngest caught the biggest bass he's caught. It was close to 4 pounds, but that was the biggest one he'd caught. So that's going on. That my summer is usually I'm in the cage with my 12-year-old throwing baseballs to him. He's determined. He's already seen his brother go play college baseball, and I asked him. I said, "You know what it takes?" So he told me, I don't want to pitch, I want to be a switch hitter. And so I said, if that's what you want, you've seen how hard he has to work, it's time to turn it on. And so we're in the cage 3 times a week, and will be all the way through high school. XRP is going to a new all-time high this cycle, and there's nothing you can do about it. Everything will happen very fast. I love the sound of that. That's what I'm here for. Now, Paul Barron's talking about the relisting of XRP on Robinhood.
All of the points that they hit on. Remember, Bitstamp was an exit, probably due to the Robinhood acquisition. But you also could kind of see there were some other things they exited out of, including MoneyGram and Tranglo. So are they prepping for what could be a very interesting time? And remember, Robinhood buys Bitstamp. This was a $200 million deal. It was a bit of a surprise. So how is this all connected, and is this connected? I think when you look at some of the strategic things that are playing out, it could get pretty interesting, including a possible listing right here, rumors of a relisting on XRP over on Robinhood. This could happen as early as next month. In August, I think that would be another huge move on XRP. Further out here,
All right. Now, look at this. July is the 3rd most bullish month for Bitcoin, which means crypto, after October and February, based on historic median returns. This is an interesting chart on monthly returns from 2013 till now. There is an awful lot of green traditionally in the month of July. I believe we're on the precipice here, folks. I believe that the people running our country have always known, or at least known for the last few decades, that the moment would come when we have to transition to a new financial system, and that when that happened, they had to have a place to go, the exit ramps. And I don't think they wanted it to be physical gold, which is why I think they created crypto. Here they're talking on ITM trading about where we are in this next economic domino.
How far away are we from that domino falling in your view?
I think we're very close. I'll be shocked if we don't see anything in 6 to 9 months, if not even shorter. Elections is coming up. There's so many uncertainties on how things are going to play out here. You have, in my view, a total lack of discipline by both parties when it comes to the fiscal issue. I believe there's the risk for 10-year yields to rise a lot further depending on who becomes elected, which I'm not sure I really want to get into my views on that, because people get very political on these things. But I do see that the lack of discipline, fiscally speaking, is also going to drive the cost of debt a lot higher, especially in the long end of the curve. And I don't know. That seems to be Bank of England was such an important moment in history that we saw back in 2022 when they cut taxes of unfunded liabilities, and we had a huge move of the UK yields basically surged to levels we've never seen historically. I think this is sort of the risk for a lot of developed economies, and the US is not is not immune from that risk either. So I believe that volatility is going to have to follow along. And by the way, if you look at the asset classes, in my career, the only times we've seen this sort of calm before the storm is usually obviously prior to 2007 or 2019 or 1999 and so forth. I mean, every asset class has suppression of volatility: oil, the dollar, the equity markets. And so I think things are starting to move. I mean, watch what's happening with small caps. I mean, small caps are not doing very well, and that's 2/3 of the labor market if you think about it. So that's
You're telling me that Larry Fink's not out there touting his ETFs and Bitcoin and all that to not flow money into this crypto system when the shit hits the fan? That's exactly how they've planned this. Now, yesterday, Trump picked J.D. Vance as his candidate, and J.D. Vance, this is strategic. This guy's a young man, and he is pro-crypto. This right here, I remember seeing this video. I remember showing this video. You know what's so fascinating about this video is J.D. Vance made the comment he makes in this video. I had never even thought about this when he said it. Let's play it and then we'll talk about it.
If there's a candidate for worst person, in my view, at least in terms of my substantive disagreements, I'm sure he's like a nice guy, is Gary Gensler. Okay, so Gary Gensler is sort of the complete opposite of my view. And there are two problems that I have with Gary. One of which is that I think he wants to inject politics way too much into the actual business of securities in the United States of America. But in some ways, the more fundamental issue, or at least the most relevant issue for this particular conference is the approach that Gary has taken to regulating blockchain and crypto seems to be almost the exact opposite of what it should be. And I'm oversimplifying a little bit, but the question the SEC seems to ask in regulating crypto is this a token with utility? And if it's a token with utility, then they seem to want to ban it. And if it's a token without utility, they don't seem to care.
Now that right there is directly over the target. Think about it. If it's something that can actually change the financial system and scrap the Federal Reserve racket that Gary and his friends have had for all these years, they go after it. That's what Elizabeth Warren is doing. That's what Choke Point 2.0 is about. Federal Reserve's trying to choke out bank accounts if they're linked to crypto. If it's useful and could actually change, make the banking system obsolete, they go after it.
I just think we should be the opposite here, right? I worry about financialization. I worry about, frankly, whether a lot of the crypto stuff is fundamentally fake. But if a token actually has utility.
All right, we'll stop there because I wanted to show you a couple more clips from him. This is how you know J.D. Vance is a good guy. He knows Gary's a bad guy.
Let's just start out with the very top with you. In 2016, you were the CFO of Hillary Clinton's failed presidential campaign. Is that correct?
I was proud to be chief financial officer to the Clinton campaign.
Great. Chairman Gensler, is it also correct that your current enforcement director, Gerber Grewal, was most recently the Attorney General of New Jersey? A yes or no answer will suffice.
He served his nation well, and he was Attorney General of New Jersey.
So just to recap, the Attorney General of New Jersey is the guy who refused to enforce immigration laws and cooperate with ICE. He also launched, I believe, 8 separate investigations against Donald Trump during his time as Attorney General. Chairman Gensler, is it also correct that your recently hired General Counsel, Megan Barbera, was previously Deputy General Counsel under Nancy Pelosi and litigated 2 impeachment hearings against Donald Trump?
I believe she was Deputy General Counsel of the House of Representatives.
Great. So, and I'll also note that one of your senior enforcement counsels is married to Peter Strzok. My point here, Mr. Gensler, is that you seem to have a very troubling pattern of hiring at an impartial regulatory agency a lot of people who seem to have a vendetta against the former president. And I fear and I worry that that has implicated itself and affected the policy at the SEC. But maybe I can appeal to your sense of self-interest. If you
He's all about self-interest. We know that.
guys use the SEC in such a politically motivated way, eventually you're going to be out of power. And I have to say, Chairman Gensler, turnabout is fair play.
Turnabout is fair play. And guess what? If anybody is shitting in their drawers, it's Gary Gensler right now after the failed assassination attempt and the rise of Trump that we're watching.
I'm probably one of the few members of the committee that actually owns cryptocurrency. I've been fascinated by it for a long time. But I also, recognize that there are downsides to it, that there are risks that come along with it. And I my basic bias here is that we don't really know what it is yet, meaning not just cryptocurrency, but a lot of the other underlying and related Web3 technologies, and that our regulatory approach should basically be to protect consumers while ensuring that we don't destroy the dynamic upside of this. And here's what I mean by the dynamic upside. Mr. Is it Reiners? What you just said is fascinating to me, and that I can tell you're sort of skeptical of the role that crypto is playing in society right now. And look, after what happened with Sam Bankman-Fried, there's a lot of cause for skepticism.
Okay, you get the gist of it. This guy is pro crypto. Now, something huge happened last night. Look at this. Eleanor Terrett put out this scoop. Ripple has donated $1 million to the Commonwealth Unity Fund, a new super PAC set up by attorney James Murphy, aka Meta Lawman, to unseat Senator Warren and elect John Deaton as Massachusetts' next senator. Murphy donated $50,000. More details on the story to come. Check that out, folks. Check that out. So a good day today. I said today's a good day to remind everyone of the greatest political blunder in history. Senator Warren, Operation Choke Point 2.0 is still underway, and Deaton for Senate is the tip of the spear in the war on crypto. All we need now is Elon Musk to help, and it's game over. I love it. Now, I'm gonna go into DAIXRP.com. We're going to talk about Ripple's stablecoin. We're going to talk about there's some wild stuff being said now, folks. That some of the things that are, we're now looking at the potential of I think that our country is in some really scary times right now, because I think the country is now waking up to just how bad the bad guys are. We'll talk about that too in DAIXRP.com. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Here we go.